William Hill Vegas sponsors Joshua vs. White on Sky Sports Box Office.
Radio Raheem here with Dillian White. We're in Brixton, man. Now, just yesterday, I was in Canary Wharf. Yeah. And for the American fans out there who don't know, it's like I'm in Harlem today, and yesterday I was on Wall Street. I'm curious, do you feel like that kind of dynamic is how they're setting this fight, like the polished golden boy against the gritty, challenger?
That's exactly what they're doing, man. But that's cool. I'm used to all that stuff. I'm used to being the underdog. I'm used to being the guy that's expected to lose and not expected to achieve anything. And I've been proving people wrong my whole life. So for me, it's not an issue for me. A lot of guys get stressed out by it, but it's not an issue for me,
Your records are comparable. You're a knockout artist yourself and have gone the distance, and been able to carry yourself throughout the entire fight. Do you feel like actually maybe you're the grittier, more experienced opponent rather than the favorite?
No, everybody will say that he is because he's at all the amateur fights and he fought in the Olympics and stuff. Everybody will say he's, but listen, man, while he's been fighting, I've been sparring and gaining my experience the hard way, I've gained a lot of my experience outside the ring in life as well, so we'll see, man.
He's predicted he's going to knock you out, concuss you in 6 rounds. And
he said 3 rounds.
He's knocked it down to 3 now. When you hear that kind of thing, does it anger you? Does it make you feel like taking him into the later rounds actually is what he doesn't want?
He doesn't anger me. Listen, there's a thing called mind games. He doesn't believe half the stuff he's saying. If you look at what he says and what he does, he don't believe half of what he's saying. He just, it's people is telling him say these things because he gets a lot of sports psychology work and a lot of media training and stuff. So they tell him these things. They tell him, Anthony, say this, say that. Because they expect me to respond emotionally and aggressively like I always do. I know that. I know exactly who I'm fighting. I know exactly what they expected of me. So I'm just cool. I'm just relaxed. I'm not going to give them what they want. I never made any man dominate me or demand from me what they want. So I'm not going to start now.
Technically, when we get into the ring, he's a tall fighter, lean. Do you feel like you can get inside and fight and hit harder than him? What are your advantages matchup-wise?
Man, I got these long-ass arms, man, so my arms is probably just as long as this, so I can jab with him, I can exchange right hands with him, I can box, I can move, and I can fight my ass off, so, we have to just wait and see, man. I've been through so much in life, ups and downs, my kickboxing career, we've had some hard, tough, gritty fights. I grew up in South London, I was born in Jamaica. I've seen things and been through things and done things and I've done some things to survive and to get by and to feed my children and stuff. So for me, I don't care what he says, man. I don't care,
And lastly, Dillian, the way you describe Anthony Joshua, his handlers, the media training, all of this, I just got to ask you flat out, man, do you think that Anthony Joshua is soft?
Man, listen, I don't know him well enough to say he's soft or not, man, but we'll see. Couple of hours and we'll see. Obviously, you see, the thing is, even if a man's soft, when you're having all these people telling you you're the greatest, you're that, and you get to the stage where you got so much to lose, it makes a man fight a little bit harder, be a little bit harder, maybe a little bit harder to deter, but so what? In the history of sports, there's been upsets, there's been some great fighters that's lost to people they're not meant to lose to, So we'll see, man.
Give me a prediction.
Dillian White's going to win.
Radio Raheem with Dillian White.
Thanks,
it's a
man.
pleasure to talk to you. Pleasure to meet you. Good luck on Saturday night.
Thanks, God bless.
William Hill Vegas sponsors Joshua vs. White on Sky Sports Box Office.